Hi, good evening to all of you. Today there is a special announcement for the JPSC aspirant. As we all know, you people had appeared for the JPSC examinations and majority of you people has scored well. So congratulations to all of you and keep practicing, keep writings and my blessings to all of you. So the integrated edu systems now going to start a test series for all of you, and we had planned a comprehensive test series this year. Last year we had conducted the test series and we had a very good outcome of that test, and that's why all you people has continuously asking me to start the test series. That's why we had planning to start the test series this year. So as you know, the cycle is quite brief, so I had planned a 12 test series for this year, out of which 8 tests are the sectional test, and in which we conduct 2 tests from each paper. So we had 4 papers, and out of all these 4 papers, I would conduct 2 tests each. That's why there is a 8 sectional test, and further, from every paper, we conduct a full test. So we had a plan for the 4 full test. And as I have said, when you look at this test is quite comprehensive. And we shall start with the science and tech. Why the science and tech? Because as you people know, that science is quite factual at certain extent. And the candidates, those who are having the humanity background, having problem of content, problem of presentation, okay, as well as how within the time frame complete the question. So what is the specific feature of our test is, after every test I personally take a discussion series for various papers, specifically the science and tech geography. I will take the discussion sessions and my faculties will conduct the discussions after every test. And further, we also provide here the test will be in bilingual mode, as well as discussion is also in bilingual mode. But we will provide a model test answers also to every candidate, because we frame a WhatsApp group in which now the enrollment has been started. Already few candidate has been enrolled. Okay, those who are participated in previous year test series and find a good outcome, or some candidates do have, those who have qualified suggested the people, so they participate in that. So if anyone is interested, they can enroll. Further, when you look at we, as I have said, I shall provide, or our institution shall provide the model answers also, and that answers is quite comprehensive, because we had designed the answers in which our team has been focused on presentations, content, where there is a requirement of the diagrams, we will put the diagrams and maps also. So that model answer is sufficient for you people. That will reduce your time, your burden of preparation. When you look at the model of this test, so what is our plan? If you look at why I am conducting the test and very enthusiastic about it, because if you look at the previous year, we had set the questions from the social sciences. If you look at, this is the first questions which is directly came into the examinations. Critically analyze the market and military reform of Alauddin Khilji and its impact on economy and society. And when you look at in geography also, we had asked the question from the temperate cyclone, and there is a questions where they asked about comparison between the temperate and tropical. In the science and tech, we also asked the air pollutions, and which directly came into the previous year's JPSC examinations. We had asked about national food security, and that will be the questions. Okay, so in each and every papers, if you look at, 2 or 3 questions directly came into the examinations. So altogether, if you look at the 4 papers, odd 8 or 9 questions directly came from this test series which we previously conducted. This year I am not starting my test series from the social sciences, but with the science and tech. Why science and tech? As I have said, there is a problem with the candidates about their content in this paper, and that's why I had started the test series. Already I had planned the test series to conduct on the 9th of May, but because during that period there was no announcement of backlog vacancy. But as we know, on the 17th there is a exams which is going to be conducted. That is a backlog vacancy. Already one pre has been conducted. So that's why we had slightly postponed the discussions and the test. Okay, so the next test would be after 17th, and the candidate must participate. So already the students, those who are not going to take the test or the examinations of backlog, they had already started the test series, and various candidate has appeared in the first test. But I had postponed the discussions, keeping in mind the request of the candidates, those who are going to participate in the backlog exams. So the first test, the first science and test here I had mentioned. In the first test, we had asked the question from the physical science and life sciences, as well as from the agricultural sciences. So we will cover 3 units in the first test, and here from every units, from physical science I would ask 3 long questions, from here 3 long, and from agriculture 4 long questions. So altogether, how many questions you get? 10 questions, and I will discuss all these questions, as well as I will provide a model answers of all these 10 questions. We will also provide you 20 objective questions in this test. Further, in the second science and tech, we will cover the unit of environmental science and science and technology. Here we will also provide you 10 questions. So altogether you get 20 questions. And finally in the full test, I will also ask 10 questions. So how many questions you get from 3 tests? The long questions, 30 questions. And how many objectives you get? 60. And I will provide you the answers of all that in my model answers, and which is suffice. If you cram that, even you feel very comfortable and score even 120, 125 plus or near about 130 if you work on that, if you able to memorize and produce in the examinations, because you have to produce that. Further, the second sections I would take here, the economy. Why I had take all these toughest part? Because if you early take these parts, you can analyze yourself ki where you are, how much comfortable you are. Okay, that's why I had take the toughest part. Here there is a need of certain relevant data, flowchart, diagrams, graph, and there is a scarcity of that. So that's why we had put this in the early test, the economy and science and tech. Why? Because you need a latest data. Okay, well articulated materials, graphs, flowchart and diagrams. तो इसको याद करने में आपको समय लगेगा, and that's why I had take this test early. So in from economy, okay, in the first test I will cover the basic feature of Indian economy and sustainable development, economic issues and Indian development strategies. Further, in the second test, I will take the questions from the economic reform, nature and impact of Indian economy, and further from the economy of Jharkhand. And here we will try to accommodate all the recent, okay, contemporary questions which can be asked from these sections. Further, In the next test, the two tests, the sectional test from the polity and the governance sections, that is the public administration section. So in the first test, I will cover the Indian Constitution and Indian polity. And in the second, I would cover here, we will cover the public administration and good governance sections. And here also you need to understand in these sections also, there is a chances of various contemporary inputs. जैसे आपने वुमेन रिजर्वेशंस को देखा है, इसके ऊपर अभी डिस्कशंस है, दैट इज ओके क्वाइट इन न्यूज़. उसके अलावा जुडिशियरी में अगर सुप्रीम कोर्ट में नंबर ऑफ जजेस इंक्रीज हुए, अभी आपने देखा कि देयर इज अ न्यूज़ अबाउट द राज्यसभा, the contemporary election scenario in different states, and altogether different results we had find especially in Tamil Nadu. और फिर आपने देखा कम्युनिस्ट गवर्नमेंट्स जो है वो वाइप्ड आउट हो गए इंडिया से. तो जो पॉलिटिकल सिनेरियो है इंडियन पॉलिटी, इस बार हो सकता है कि कुछ ऐसे भी क्वेश्चंस हों जो कंटेम्प्ररी से ऐड होकर हों, तो उसे हम पहले से अगर उसके ऊपर वर्क कर लेते हैं तो दैट विल बी okay beneficial for all the aspirants. So that's why we had conducted. Further, at the last, I will take history and geography. So here we cover all the sections of the history in the first test, first sectional test of this paper, and then we will cover the geography in the second sectional test. And after conducting all these 8 sectional tests, I will comprehensively cover full test. So altogether you get a quite sufficient number of the questions and the model answers that will help you, support you in your preparations. Okay. And the candidates may consult me one to one if they have the doubts after the test. So we will try to, okay, uh, just answers their questions, their queries, okay, as much as possible. So this is the announcement from my sides. If you look at already, if you look at the questions what we have set for this year, if you look at, so here this year first test of the science and technology, just briefly I am showing you. Here we had set the 20 objective questions, and all objective questions keeping in mind the sections which is given. And then we had covered the expected questions from the physical science as well as from the life sciences, and then from the agricultural sciences for this year. So these are the expected question, and I am expecting, and when I am designing the questions, I am keeping in mind all the keywords. Here, what is cell cycle? So cell cycle is a different keyword, you have to explain it. And further, either they may ask the mitotic cell division or the meiotic cell divisions. Meiotic cell division is quite longer. Okay, so majority of time there is much more chances about to ask about mitotic cell division and further its significance. And when you look at here, I had taken the subunits which is given in the physical science like gravity, mass, work power, energy, ऐसे छोटे टॉपिक्स भी हैं. उससे भी हम लोग लॉन्ग क्वेश्चंस फ्रेम कर रहे हैं कि अगर क्वेश्चन आ जाए, जैसे लास्ट ईयर एनर्जी से क्वेश्चंस आया था, तो आप कंफर्टेबल फील करें. तो इस तरह से हम लोग कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव सारे सेक्शंस को कवर कर रहे हैं. और जैसा मैंने कहा कि यहाँ से हमने थोड़ा सा मॉडल अलग रखा है जानबूझकर, क्योंकि यहाँ 32 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चंस फ्रेम किया आपके लिए, क्योंकि आप 5 लिख सके, आपकी स्पीड, आपका मेजॉरिटी ऑफ क्वेश्चंस और यूनिट कवरेज हो जाए, और मैं ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा आपको आंसर्स प्रोवाइड करूँ, डिस्कशन कर सकूँ, लाइव क्लासेस डिस्कशंस होंगी, ठीक है, और वो आपके लिए बेनिफिशियल होगा. So this is all about the our test series, and if you are interested, you may join our test series, and we will provide you, okay, all the information regarding the test series on the given number, which is available on the YouTubes and the our Facebook channels, okay, of Integrated Edu Systems. You can visit there. You can visit there on the Instagram channel also, and we can contact, okay, and you people can contact with us. So thank you very much. Have a nice time. Thank you.